Paolo Banchero steps up again in the clutch. Caleb Houston and the shooters do too. What's there to be upset about right now? Are you having fun yet? The Orlando Magic with the big win on today's Locked On Magic.
You are Locked On Magic, your daily Orlando Magic podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And you are indeed Locked On Magic. Today is January 8th, 2024. My name is Philip Rossreich. I'm the expert and site editor over at OrlandoMagicDaily.com. You can follow me on Twitter at PhilipRR_OMD. On today's episode, excuse me, a little bit under the weather. On today's episode of Locked On Magic, Paolo Banchero steps up once again in the clutch. Why that is not a surprise and why it's part of the fun of the growth of this team. We'll get to that, plus Caleb Houston and the Magic shooters stepping up to the plate. We're going to get to that and go through the numbers there coming up here in just a moment as I open up my box score. But before we do that, we want to thank you again for making Locked On Magic part of your day every day, no matter when you listen to us, whether it's first in the morning, whether it's right when we upload. We truly appreciate you making Locked On Magic part of your day every day. Remember, there's a great Locked On podcast covering every single team in the NBA. Just search for Locked On and the team you're looking for, the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. Today's episode of Locked On Magic is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Paolo Banchero laid things out pretty succinctly, I felt, after the game. You know, he said, yes, end-of-game situations are serious. They are big. And I will continue to go through my tired cliche. Good teams don't win close games. They avoid them. Well, the Magic aren't quite a good team yet, and they have actually avoided a lot of close games. But the Magic aren't quite a good team yet. For them to get where they want to go, for them to play above their station, they're going to have to win close games. And guess what? That whole saying, that cliche that I use or coined, or I don't know if I coined it, but that whole cliche that I use, throw that out in the playoffs. Because the playoffs are all about winning close games, turning a 2-2 series into a 3-1 series. The Magic are going to have to win these close games. They're going to have to learn how to close games out. And it's the hardest thing for a young team to learn. It's the hardest thing for a young team to perfect. And look, I'm going to give you some positive clutch numbers right here. But the Magic are still learning this process. They led by 7 with about a minute and a half left to go, or 2 minutes to go, gave up the lead, went to overtime. But here's the thing about this Magic team. Here's the thing, especially about Paolo Banchero. You don't have to teach them a lesson twice. They're a team that does absorb some bad losses and some mistakes and some missteps. They did on Friday in Denver. They did back in November against Atlanta. They absorb a lot of these difficult and hard lessons. And the next time they see it, they come back. So yes, this is, in Paolo's words, serious business. But it's also fun. They'll end the games, at least for a guy like Paolo, who's going to have the ball in his hands. This is when he proves himself. When he shows that he is the all-star we all know he is, the potential Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Would not be surprised if that is the announcement tomorrow on Monday. This is where he proves that he belongs. And once again, he proved it. Paolo's stat clutch numbers are pretty strong. We're going to get to them in a minute. But in this game, Banchero scored 8 of Orlando's 12 points in overtime. He scored 35 points total. His 5th straight game of 25 points or more. He shot 13 of 29. Not terrible, not great efficiency, but not terrible. Made 4 of 7 threes. Got 10 rebounds, 4 assists, just 2 turnovers. Added 3 steals and a block. Played some great defense and great help side defense especially. Paolo continues to astound. And as Jamal Mosley says over and over again, as he talks about what this second-year, 21-year-old player is doing, he is a winner. I don't know why I counted that. He is a winner. And he makes winning plays. He makes winning tough shots. At the end of regulation, the Magic just gave up the tying basket. Paolo gives a look to Coach Mosley. Mosley decides not to call a timeout. Paolo brings the ball up the floor, gets to his spot, kicks out to a wide open Caleb Houston. Caleb missed it. Not the end of the world. You live with that. But he made the right play. He made the winning play. And as Paolo keeps repeating, he is there to make the right play every time. And in overtime, after struggling to help close this game out, struggling with the pick and roll, with the switches, trying to get the matchups he wanted, he just turned and went aggressive. He didn't let the defense dictate what he was going to do. He dictated to the defense where he was going to go. With a quick jumper, with a foul. He had 4 points right there. 4 of his 8 in the overtime right there. He made all the big plays once again to carry the Magic to victory. You might be surprised to know that the Magic are one of the best clutch teams in the league. They're actually 12-7 in clutch situations this year when the game is within 5 points in the final 5 minutes. That's 4th in the league in clutch victories. Forget all the other stuff because there's stuff to work on. The Magic are winning close games. The Magic do not blink. Sorry, I got to pick this up. The Magic do not blink. And they show a lot of poise and maturity that you frankly don't expect from young teams. Paolo Banchero especially. This season, Paolo Banchero has scored the 10th most points in clutch situations. He's tied with Kevin Durant with 58. He's shooting 18 of 39. That's 46.2%. That's better than Durant, by the way. And 5 of 13 from 3. Also better than Durant, by the way. Yes, he has only 5 rebounds. Yes, he only has 2 assists. Yes, he has 8 turnovers. There's still a lot of mistakes that he and this young team are making. But as we keep seeing, this young team understands and recognizes these lessons and comes back the next time better for it. And that's exactly what happened in this game. The Magic got together before overtime and said, we were in this situation last week against Sacramento. Let's win the tip. Let's get the first points. Let's win this game. That's what the Magic did. They're actualizing their goals in a way that young teams don't typically do. Young teams struggle with this stuff. They have bad losses. And yeah, again, this team's made a lot of mistakes. This team gave up the lead. Probably should have been in overtime to begin with. The Hawks made some shots. Magic played some tough defense, fouled a little too much. They made some shots. But the Magic put themselves in a position to make good, to learn and to grow. And that's what they keep on doing. It should not be lost on anyone what Paolo's doing. His stat lines right now, a 30-10 and I think 4 or 2 steal game. No Magic player has ever done that. Like back-to-back games like that. He's had 3 straight games of 30-plus points, which, again, the Magic haven't had that in a long time. He's coming to his own. He's played with so much confidence. He's setting himself up to be an all-star this year. They already got the posters of him up in the Indianapolis airport. Paolo's going to Indy. And again, he very well could win Eastern Conference Player of the Week. We could be talking here tomorrow about what Paolo's done as Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't shock me. What Banchero's doing is incredible. And at the end of the day, what the Magic are doing is too. So much of what this team is doing is serious stuff. They're trying to win. They're trying to make the playoffs. We don't want to make light of it. But you got to give Jamal Mosley this credit. He has told them all, I want you also to make sure you don't lose that joy, that you enjoy your moments. He wants Jalen Suggs celebrating. He wants Paolo flexing. He wants all of that. Because it means they're doing something good worth celebrating, but it means they're living in that moment. This Magic team works because they have fun. They've been through some stuff. They've been through some difficult times. And when they get tested, when teams step up to them, they step right back up. Especially their leader, especially their star player, Paolo Banchero. It wasn't just him tonight, though. We got to give some love to the Magic shooting, which is surprisingly come around. We'll get to Caleb Houston's career game coming up here in just a moment. But first, it's time for a quick word for our friends over at Gametime. Big week here in, in Central Florida. Magic taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves, our sister team. Love seeing our sister team in town. We see them Tuesday. You got UCF taking on Kansas in their first Big 12 home game on Wednesday. And then Friday taking on ranked BYU. It's a busy week here in Central Florida. And if you want tickets to all these events, plus maybe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playoff game on Monday, or even the Pro Bowl coming up in a couple weeks, Gametime is the place to go. You shouldn't have to worry when you buy tickets to your next big event. Gametime is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guaranteed, Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Gametime is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. You can see the view from your seats before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All-in prices show your total up front, so you know you're getting a great deal before you check out. You can buy tickets really in 2 taps. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON. That's capital LOCKED, capital ON, for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Don't forget to check out the first ever National Sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube from your friends at the Locked On Network. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe to the first ever National Sports 24/7 streaming channel today. I will apologize again. I am feeling a hair under the weather, and that's probably being generous because I don't like being sick. So I apologize if I cough, if I sniffle, if I struggle with all that stuff. I'm churning the legs. I'm flu gaming this if I have to. The NyQuil is waiting for me after I record. But what we should not be sleeping on, what is not feeling sick right now, what is sick, as the kids like to say, is the Magic shooting. And the Magic had another superb shooting night. Maybe they have found the fountain of youth. Maybe they have figured out the way to make shots finally. But they found it. And it's covering up some mistakes right now and covering up some issues. It's helping the team stay afloat through all the injuries. But they found some shooting. For the third straight game, Orlando made their shots. 17-41 from beyond the arc for 41.5%. Caleb Houston scored a career-high 25 points, making 7 of 14 three-pointers. Paolo was 4 for 7. Jalen Suggs was 4 for 7. The Magic made some threes. It's weird, I know. But here's the thing. The Magic have been set up for this for a while. Now, Orlando is not a high-volume shooting team. We recognize that. We understand that. They're not a team that's going to take a million threes. That's not who they are. That's not who they want to be. Entering this game, I think they were 26th in the league in three-point field goal percentage, as well as 26th in the league in attempts. Both of those are up over the last 2 games. The Denver game and the Sacramento game bumped them from 29th to 26th. So they're shooting a lot more threes lately. Again, I apologize. My voice is starting to go, so I apologize. They're starting to shoot more threes lately, but even through all of that, most of the Magic's three-pointers were good shots. We've gone over some of these numbers after some of the Magic's worst games. We have. But now we look at these numbers and they tell us the Magic are taking, at least the threes that they are taking, are good shots. In fact, entering Sunday's game, 92.7% of the Magic's three-point attempts are open, where the closest defender is 4 to 6 feet away, or wide open, where the closest defender is 6 or more feet away, according to data from NBA.com. Whether you want to believe those numbers or not, and some of it is, yes, teams are leaving shooters open. They're more concerned about stopping the paint. They're willing to let the Magic shoot threes. That is part of the gamble for this team right now. But regardless, the Magic weren't hitting these shots. Overall, the Magic shot just 35.7% on these open looks. And again, you look at some of the Magic's worst performances. 2 for 23 against Cleveland. They made only 2 of 19 of these shots. Against the Knicks, they were 7 for 33. They made 7 of 31 open or wide open shots. Against the Bucks on December 21st, 8 for 33 from 3, 7 of 30. They were 7 for 30 on wide or wide open shots, or wide open shots. The night before against Miami, they were 9 for 30 on three-point attempts, where the closest defender was 4 or more feet away. So many of the Magic shooting problems were quite simply they missed open shots. Now, could they get more volume? Could they get more of these attempts? Absolutely. But they know that's not their game. They know that's not their style. They know that's not who they are. Not yet, at least. And so they were just simply not making enough threes. We know that. Like, you shouldn't need numbers to say the Magic need to shoot threes better. No duh. But it should tell you that the opportunities are there. And Jamal Mosley's continue to preach, step into your shot, step into it confidently, make that shot. That's what the Magic have to do now. Obviously, they are on some kind of tear. In the previous 2 games, so in the 2 games against Sacramento and Denver, Orlando shot 42 for 80 from beyond the arc. That's 52.5%. Add in a 17 for 41. That makes you 59 for 121. And I'm going to do the calculator here. 59 for 121 is 48.8%. If you're shooting 48.8% from 3 over a 3-game stretch, your offense is going to have a real good chance to win that game. It's going to cover up a lot of mistakes. And the Magic are making some mistakes, some things they got to clean up. But it's key. Jalen Suggs is hitting his shots all of a sudden. He's back up to 38, 39% from 3. I think he might have eclipsed 40 with the game tonight. Caleb Houston is now above 40% from 3. Paolo Banchero is sneaking around there at 37, 38% from 3. The Magic actually do have some guys who can hit shots. What's different now, though, is they're making them. Like, again, I know I've said this a million times after they had a lot of their bad shooting games. I wish I had a more complicated answer to this problem other than get better shooters. But the reality is, whatever three-pointers the Magic are getting, and again, low volume, that is what it is. Whatever three-pointers the Magic are getting, they weren't hitting. They were good shots. They weren't hitting them. Now they are. And now you see how that changes everything. The Magic hit a big 3 to make it a 4-point game with about a minute and a half to play from Caleb Houston. Big, big shot. They hit a couple big threes in the overtime period as well. They made big plays. They stepped up. They made big shots. And look, they still got to be about being in the paint. And that was a struggle in this game. But the Magic shooters are stepping up. And look, I haven't talked enough about Caleb Houston. 25 points, 7 for 14 shooting from 3. Just a stellar game. A guy that is not afraid to shoot. I know people were upset when he had that 0 for 5 game a couple weeks ago. And I said, no. Don't worry about him. He's in there to shoot. He's got to make those shots. He defends well. He's going to make them. Have faith, have trust. That dude is making his shots right now, and it's been such a big boost for this team. In fact, our friends from StatMuse, Orlando StatMuse, tell us Caleb Houston is the first Magic second-round pick drafted by the Magic since their inaugural season with Michael Ansley to score 25 or more points in the game. Ansley did it twice. That's crazy. Caleb Houston stepped up. Again, you got to remember, Caleb Houston is one of the youngest players on this team. He stepped up and was a big lift for a team that needed a lift. At the end of the day, this Magic team needed a lift. They needed someone to step up without Franz Wagner, without Wendell Carter, with all the injuries they have. They need players to step up. And the shooters are starting to do it, and Caleb Houston's been doing it too. I am going to run quickly through the box score because my voice is shot. I don't know if I'll be able to do this much longer. We'll get to that coming up here in just a moment. But first, it's time for a quick word for our friends over at FanDuel. The NFL regular season is over. The playoffs are here, but you can still get in on the action with FanDuel, America's number one sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. The app is so easy to use, and there are so many different ways to bet, like live same-game parlays. You can find bets in the new Explore tab. You can make a parlay, and the Parlay Hub is the best way to find popular parlays and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet a touchdown today. FanDuel is an official partner of the NFL. like I said, I want to run through the box. I want to run through the box score real fast because I am on my last legs here. It's been a long day, and I appreciate y'all sticking with me. Sorry for my voice being so hoarse. Sorry for the coughing, for the sniffling, anything like that. It'll take me a few days to get over this, but I'll be fine for Tuesday's game and fine for an episode tomorrow night. But let's run through the box scores. The Atlanta Magic defeat the Atlanta Hawks 117-110. Again, I don't know what more I need to say about Paolo Banchero. 35 points, 13 for 29 shooting, 4 for 7 from 3, 5 for 7 from the foul line, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, deservedly getting MVP chance from the Amway Center crowd. Another sellout at the Amway Center, actually the 10th largest attendance, or sorry, not Amway Center, Kia Center crowd, excuse me. Please don't hurt me, Kia. Please don't hurt me, Magic. The 10th largest crowd at the Kia Center. I'm sick. I'm delirious. You can deal with me later. Just a really, really, again, like I know the efficiency isn't there yet. He didn't turn the ball over a lot. I think down the stretch, he got a little frustrated and flustered, was a little too passive, but this guy is just carrying this team right now. We have a star that can carry us. Look, Atlanta's not the greatest team in the world. Their record's not good. They're having a disappointing season. They're at a crossroads entering the trade deadline, but this was a gutsy win. Just like Friday was a gutsy win, just like Wednesday was a gutsy performance. This was another gutsy win. The Magic needed another superstar game from Paolo, and he delivered. It really bodes well for what he's going to do in the playoffs. Again, like I keep saying this, we got to focus and be ready for April. We got to be thinking about what's going to work in April, what's not going to work in April. Paolo's going to have a lot of his work cut out for him. Look, it's not going to be easy no matter who they face. They could be in the 4-5 game with Miami, with Indiana, with Cleveland, with New York. They could be in the 3 against Philadelphia. They could be in the 2 against Milwaukee. They could still be in the 1 against Boston and the play-in tournament on top of that. It doesn't matter who they face. He's going to face some really tough defenses, but he just keeps figuring things out and again, doing what his team needs. It's been incredible to watch. I thought Paolo could be this good. To do it this quickly, and how badly the team needs him right now is just, don't take this for granted, please. Caleb Houston, again, 25 points, 8 for 15 shooting, 7 for 14 from 3. Kid's going to let it fly. Kid's hitting shots. Got to love that. Love seeing Caleb step up in this way. Just playing. Everyone right now is playing with so much confidence. Like, even on the road trip, guys were playing with confidence. They were struggling to make shots, but like after the Phoenix and Golden State losses, I don't think there was much concern or worry. They lost close games. Obviously, Sacramento was a wild game, but they understood that they were doing a lot of the right things and that it would eventually turn. Caleb Houston's a process over results guy. Like, he's been putting in the work. Jamal Mosley called him a machine. First guy in, last guy out type player, type person. He's stepping up big when the Magic need him to. Got to give that credit to Jalen Suggs too. 16 points, 6 for 13 shooting, 4 for 7 from beyond the arc, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He did foul out. Used every one of those fouls on Trae Young. It felt like Magic defense had its struggles with Trae. He still had 30. He had 31 points. DeJounte Murray had 24. They struggled a little bit with Trae, but overall made him work. Chased him off the 3-point line really well. He was 2 for 9 from 3. DeJounte Murray is 0 for 2. Orlando did a really good job making Atlanta work in the interior. And yeah, they got to the line a little bit too much. But Orlando, I thought, did a really good job overall, just making Atlanta work inside the line. And that eventually is an advantage for Orlando. Now, the downside of that is the Magic did give up a lot of points in the paint. Orlando got outscored 60-42 in the paint. And that is usually a recipe for a loss. And it's the 3rd straight game where Orlando just didn't have it in the paint. Now, they made up for it with threes. Usually it's the other way around. The Magic are making up for threes by scoring in the paint. Now the Magic are making up for not scoring in the paint with their threes. There's a long stretch of this game, especially in the second quarter, where the Magic settled for threes. They got off to a really hot start. They settled for threes. That's not their game. They got to get paint touches and kickouts. That's their game. And that's where they got a lot of their really good 3-point looks. So I don't think the points in the paint necessarily reflect how good the Magic were in the paint, but Magic got to score in the paint. That's their bread and butter. They got to get the foul line. The officiating was suspect. A lot of touch fouls for Atlanta. Not a lot of touch fouls for Orlando. But again, Orlando's got to find its formula again. I don't think this 3-point shooting is sustainable. I think they're better than what they've shown so far this year. I think they're like a 34, 35% 3-point shooting team. That's probably where they're going to settle. They're at 32, 33 right now. So they're going through a little bit of a hot streak, and that's fine. But it's not going to last forever. They're not going to keep shooting 50% from 3. And so they just got to be ready for that challenge. Off the bench, great game from Mo Wagner, 15 points. Cole Anthony, 10 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Struggled to make shots. He was 3 for 13. Again, kind of picked on defensively. He ended up finishing the game because of Jalen Suggs' foul trouble. But he fights. He competes. He's taking shots you are comfortable with him taking. He's just going to sometimes have these bad games. That's just how it is. The Orlando Magic defeat the Atlanta Hawks 117-110. Back in action Tuesday against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and that's frankly all I have the energy for. So I want to thank you again for making Locked On Magic part of your day every day. Remember, you can find us wherever you download podcasts, Stitcher, Odyssey, Stitcher, TuneIn, Himalaya, Google Play, Spotify, wherever you download podcasts to your podcast-enabled device. You can find us as well on YouTube at youtube.com/@LockedOnMagic. For the latest on the Orlando Magic, be sure to check out OrlandoMagicDaily.com. You can find us there on Twitter at OMagicDaily. And be sure to check out my Patreon page, the Orlando Magic Hub, at patreon.com/OrlandoMagicHub. As you can tell, I am spent. I am done. I will see you all. Just think I coughed up some phlegm, but you don't need to know that. I am done. Great win for the Orlando Magic. Another gutsy, great clutch performance. A lot to be happy about. Put that losing streak behind us. Moving forward through this difficult schedule. Got a tough game Tuesday. But just really great stuff. And again, we expect Paolo Banchero to be Eastern Conference Player of the Week this week. So that's really exciting to see. But until next time, for Orlando Magic Daily and Locked On Magic, this has been Philip Rossman-Reich, drinking some orange juice. We'll see you next time here on Locked On Magic.